getting to meet people, meet students and read their work, and faculty who I greatly admire. And yeah, I'm going to play some songs, then Keith and I are going to speak, and then play some more songs, and then we'll take a little break, and then Keith and I will speak, and then we'll play some more songs. We'll go on as long as you like, really, I think. I'm just going to use this modern device to tune my guitar with. It's one of the things that happens now in the world. I thought I would start off tonight with a song directly tied to a Vancouverite named Veda Hilly, who's a great singer-songwriter from here, a Vancouver treasure, I would call her. And Veda called me many years ago, probably a decade ago, and said that she was kind of disappointed. She had a disappointed tone, and she said she had this incredible idea for a musical. It was going to be about cats. And she spent an entire day kind of constructing a musical about cats before remembering that there already was one. And that it was the most successful musical of all time. So she said she was just going to keep writing songs about cats anyway, and would appreciate it if I did as well. So I decided I would, and I was looking around for a cat, and I happened to be living with one. One who didn't like me so much, but was growing to love me. This is my partner's cat. And so I was looking for a name for the cat, and I always have to come back to the city of Winnipeg, which is where I'm from. And so I decided there's a slogan for the city of Winnipeg. It's Unum Cum Virtute something. I'm blanking on it. It means one with the strength of many, so I named the cat Virtute, and strength. Why don't you ever want to play? I'm tired of this piece of string. You sleep as much as I do now, and you don't eat much of anything. I don't know who you're talking to. I made a search through every room, but all I found was dust that moved in shadows of the afternoon. Listen about those bitter songs you sing. They're not helping anything. It won't make you strong. So we should open up the house, invite the tabby 2 doors down. You could ask your sister if she doesn't bring her basset hound. Ask her things you shouldn't miss. Tape Hiss and the Modern Man, the Cold War and card catalogs, to come and join us if they can. Girly drinks and parlor games, pass around the easy life with absolutely no regrets. And later maybe you could try to let your losses dangle off the sharp edge of a century. Talk about the weather or how the weather used to be. And I'll cater to all the birds that I can kill. Let their tiny feathers fill disappointment. Lie down, lick the sorrow from your skin, scratch the terror and begin to believe all you ever want to do is drink and watch TV. And frankly, that thing doesn't really interest me. I swear I'm gonna bite you hard and taste your tinny blood if you don't stop the self-defeating lies you've been repeating since the day you brought me home. I know you're strong. Thank you. Thanks very much. another song concerning the city of Winnipeg. It's called Heart of the Continent, and it's about this building they tore down at a main intersection in Winnipeg. It was called the Army Surplus Sales. It was where you go if you wanted to buy a tent or a sword or I don't know what. But the staff there were knowledgeable about both tents and swords. You know, that kind of place? It was really interesting. And as soon as they turned down, I couldn't really recall what it looked like. It was one of those weird things that happens to me all the time, and maybe it happens to you. And made me think, again, as I often do, about impermanence and the metaphor that buildings are, and what that means when they disappear. The north wind sings, the fence around a lot full of debris, near the corner of Memorial and me. We're resurrected, brick and drywall lead back into place. There's a terrified reflection of my face. All alone at the gleaming knife display in the Army surplus sales. As the dusk descends and my inspiration fails, Ghostville, discount parkas, sleeping bags peer at me from the crumpled dark. Inky bruises punched into the sky by bolts of light, and then leak across the body of tonight. Well, rain and thunder drop and roll, then stop short of a storm. Leave the air stuck with this waiting to be born. As I stand before an unresponsive automatic door, just another door that won't open for me anymore. The exit red gets brighter, then blinks on, presses me into the crumpled dark. Billboard by the highway that says welcome to the avenue, but no sign to show you when you go away. And our demolitions punctuate all we mean to save them. Leave too late, so I make my shaky exclamation mark with a handful of crumpled dark. This next song, I stole the structure and part of the inspiration from a singer-songwriter named Bob Dylan. He wrote a song called "When I Paint My Masterpiece," and I was trying to write this song about about an academic actually trying to write their master's thesis. Because I was having trouble writing about a certain subject, and I thought, this must happen to academics all the time when they get to this point where they have it all, they have all the research laid out before them, and they just cannot start. Everything else conspires. The video games conspire. The relationships conspire. Everything conspires. And I was trying to write about the culture at the tuberculosis sanatorium in Ninant, Manitoba, which is in southwestern Manitoba, where my mother grew up. And I wanted to write about this place and about the culture there in the sanatorium where all these people had been sent. People from all walks of life had been sent to live, and a lot of them died. And I just could not write it. And I was in Dawson City. I was the writer-in-residence in Dawson City for their music festival in February. And there were not very many hours of daylight. And I spent a lot of time in a room with a big piece of paper on the wall trying to figure out how I was going to write this song. And then I would also spend some time at the Pit, which was a bar down the street. And finally, one night, Bob Dylan's song, "When I Paint My Masterpiece," came on the radio, and it was delivered to me, the structure. So I used the first lines of each of his verses, and wrote the song called "When I Write My Master's Thesis." It's for you. Oh, the streets of Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, filled with smoke. Doorbell rings. I put my controller down and pick it up. Shoot some things. Later, the darkness hits reboot, and the loneliness increases. She said she'd come back home when I write my master's thesis. Oh, the hours I spent in the archives wearing cotton gloves, shuffling photos from the Ninant Sanatorium. Halloween parties, emaciated ghosts hiding in those curtains' creases. Let you haunt the world when I write my master's thesis. No more marking first year papers. No more citing sources. Cried the bumpy ride to Highway 23. Started west. They'll be there to say that I don't need to take their stupid test. Greet me with banners and balloons, and my hard drive smashed to pieces. Nothing left for me to save when I write my master's thesis. It's all gonna change when I write my master's thesis. I like to do this song. This next song, I sort of always say it's about the dead people in your life. But I think it's a Rushmore quote. But it's about those moments where you see someone on the street or in a window up above you, and you think, oh, it's that person that I know and care for, and then you realize that a couple seconds later that actually that person's dead and has been dead for a long time. And there's an interesting moment there where they're not exactly dead. And so this is called Night Windows, and it's about that idea, and it's based on a painting by Edward Hopper called Night Windows. In the state count for the song, knowing you're gone, glancing up at where you lived when you lived here. I see you suddenly alive, nearly smiling. Stop and hold my breath and watch the way you used to be. The full moon makes our faces shine, over iron polyesters, then disappears behind clouds, leaves me under empty rows of night windows. We could walk to where these streets get pulled together, a blinking line with gravel shoulder square towards an end, where the radio resounds from doppling traffic, where the power line steal S's from the hourly news. Depluralize our casualties, drown the generals out in static. We turn and watch our city sprawl, send us signals in the glow. Night windows, night windows, but you're not coming home again, and I won't ever get to say, remember how I'm sorry that I missed the way could we. Remember how I'm sorry that I missed the way could we. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to have some discussion. I'm looking forward to that. This song is sort of based on my affection for the Communist Manifesto, which I think is a work that has moments of great poetry in it. And you know, Marx was a great reader of literature. He and his family could act out many plays by Shakespeare. They just go to the park and act out as you like it or whatever. It sounds pretty cool to me. But there is great poetry in it, I think, and so it's a sort of a Marxist love song for Winnipeg, I guess. Standing on this corner, can't get their attention. Facing rush hour, faces turned around. I clutch my stack of paper, press one to a chest, then watch it swoop, stutter to the ground. I'm weary with right angles, abbreviated daylight, waiting for a winter to be done. Well, why do I still see you in every mirrored window, and all that I could never overcome? Now, I don't know what I should do with my hands when I talk to you. You don't know where you should look, so you look at my hands. Our movements rise and then dissolve, melted by our shallow breath. Our causes dance away from me. I am your pamphleteer. Walk this room in time to the beat of the Gestebner, contemplate my next communique. The rhetoric and treason, saying that I'll miss you, saying, hey, well, maybe you should stay. Saying, oh, what force on earth could be weaker than the feeble strength of one like me, remembering the way it could have been. So help me with this barricade, no surrender, no defeat. The specters haunting Albert Street, I am your pamphleteer.